Hi and aloha. I'm Michaelle Edwards, the inventor of the YogAlign method of yoga. Welcome to our YogAlign YouTube channel. And I want to talk today about some of the injuries that I've seen people getting in yoga. And one of them is wrist injuries. And a lot of people feel like they can't do the downward dog position because of these strain and pain to the wrist, or possibly from chaturanga, the high push-up position. The wrist begins to get strained. Now, something that's very important to remember is that the pelvis is more of a weight-bearing joint, but the shoulder is really built more for mobility. So we need to be careful about loading up the shoulder joint with too much tension and effort. So what we do in the YogAlign downward dog is a little different than you may have been taught in traditional yoga, but because one of the reasons we change it is because the downward dog is another one of those right angles that we try to avoid in YogAlign, because we know that the human body is made of curves. We're designed to move. The knees need to be bent in order to move, and there's no time in real life where you need to be in a right angle position to really do anything. So I'm going to bring Katarina in here, and this is Katarina, and she's going to we're going to first work with how you position the shoulders to even get into downward dog. We're going to first show you this method of it's kind of like we're scooping something up and drawing the scapula down at the same time. So turn to the side for a second, bring your head back just a little bit. So we want to get the breastbone and the scapula, or the shoulder blades, on the same level. So I'm going to have her take a deep breath using the YogAlign breath technique. And she's going to hold her breath for a moment. And can you make fists with your hands? Now, as you need to exhale, just straighten your arms, bring your fingertips towards the floor, and try to get taller through the exhale. Because we know that the forces of exhalation want to shorten us, so we try to lengthen through them. Now, she's going to go on the floor and bring her, on the hands and knees, and just, bring the forearms to the floor, turn the palms up. So it's the same thing we just did from standing. But as you breathe in, take a deep breath in, press your fingers into the floor, pull your shoulders down, and then lean back. Keep the shoulders down. And as you come up, don't lean your shoulders forward, take your hips back, and then you come up into more of a natural position. Now she can straighten her knees, but keep her heels lifted, and try not to drop the chest, so that we keep that natural curve in the body, in the underside of the arm. So we keep that natural position of the spine. Now go ahead and bend your knees again, pull your hips back, and then go ahead and begin to lift your, keep the right knee bent and lift your left leg up and keeping that right knee really bent. And you see from this position, if she bends her knee even a little more and pulls back with her hips, she's really working on her core now. And it's not so much. Her neck can turn easily. There's no pressure on her shoulder. Her arms connecting back into her body. And go ahead and bring that foot down, and then we'll lift the other leg up, and there it is. And she turns her inner thigh towards the ceiling, keeps this length to her trunk. Now go ahead and straighten this leg and turn sideways, and turn up in the air, and then, and turn this, and then just give the psoas a big stretch, and let your head go. And lengthen up, and then go ahead and come all the way back down onto your hands and knees. Take your hips around in a few circles. There we go. All right. So that's our version of the down dog. You can come to standing now. So we always try to work more with strength and flexibility simultaneously, so that we get strong and flexible at the same time. So we try to avoid that habit of hanging in the joints when people do it. Can you show that the wrong way for a second? So the wrong way is this hanging down, this like stretching the shoulder, and you see all the vertebrae popping out her back. Don't do it for very long. This is actually, can be very harmful over the long run. It can really hurt your body. So make sure when you do any yoga pose, first of all, that you check it with the movement of breath. If you can't take a full deep breath when you're in a pose, you might be enlisting forces that are actually inhibiting how your body moves, and the movement of your diaphragm, the movement of your ribs. But the other thing to be cautious about is the curves of the spine and the vertebra in your back. It's like You don't want to stretch the forces that hold you together. And particularly if you're really flexible, you need to be extra careful, because there's a tendency when we're flexible to just sort of hang out in our joints. And there was 400,000 hip replacements in the US last year, most of them women. And when I discuss this with orthopedic surgeons, they say that laxicity, looseness in the joints is one of the reasons why the hip joint becomes dysfunctional, leading to these replacements.